3 super common mistakes. Learners do those mistakes almost in 90% of cases. So stay until the end, because by the end of this video, you would have fixed 3 mistakes that will help you sound more natural in French. Alors, c'est parti, on y va. Bonjour mate, bonjour mate, bonjour mate. Mistake number 1, using the verb visiter in the wrong way. So in English, when you say I'm visiting my friend or I'm visiting a museum, it's the same thing. But in French, visiter is not used for people and places the same way. So you can use the verb visiter when you're talking about visiting a location. Je visite la Dordogne. Je visite le musée du Louvre. Je visite Paris. But when you want to say that you are visiting a friend, you have to think of it as when you say the expression in English, paying a visit. You need an extra word before that. And in French, it's the verb rendre. We say rendre visite. Donc, je rends visite à mon ami. Je rends visite à ma famille en France. Je rends visite à mes cousins. Okay? This is one of the most common mistakes in French from learners. And you know what? My mom, who has lived in France for 60 years, she's basically French. Her French is so good. She heard me say this on a short video on Instagram. By the way, this is my Instagram, if you want to check it out, if you don't follow me yet. And she said that she did not know that, and that she had been doing the mistake all along. And I probably corrected her in the past, I don't remember. But anyway, she said, "Thank you, darling." Merci, mon trésor, actually, she said, because we always speak in French between each other. Weirdly, my mom, despite being English, she's always only spoken French at home and sent us to England every summer to learn English. And for me, mistake number 2. When you want to ask a question, in English, you use the verb ask, okay? Can I ask you a question? French, the verb to ask is demander, all right? So demander, be careful. It is a false friend with to demand in English. Demander is simply to ask. But demander in French is about a request. And it doesn't work with question. If you want to use the verb demander, you would say, je peux te demander quelque chose. Can I ask you something? But it's already implied the fact that you're asking a question within the verb demander. So demander une question is completely false. You can't say je te demande une question. It's wrong. It sounds really wrong. It's not even a mistake that you can just get by with. It just doesn't sound good. You have to use the verb poser. Je peux te poser une question. Je te pose une question. Il m'a posé une question. So yes, be careful with demander. Demander can be used alone to request something. Je te demande de l'aide. Je te demande un verre d'eau. Demande-moi ce que tu veux. But it cannot be associated with a question. It's already in the verb, okay? And this is something that I've heard in my class last week. Somebody actually said, Eva, je peux te demander une question. By the way, if you did not know, I have live classes every week that you can join anytime. And it's $9.95 per month. And they're really fun. I have a community of almost 800 people now. The community, I feel like I'm making friends with people from all around the world. If you are interested, if you really want to practice your French, learn some grammar, progress, become more fluent, join the classes. It'd be really nice to have you along with us. And now mistake number 3 is with the verb conduire. So in English, to drive is about the act of, say, driving, but it is also about the act of the journey. You can say, I drove I drove to Nice. Okay, so somebody can say, what did you do this weekend? I drove to Nice. We spent the weekend there. In French, if you say j'ai conduit à Nice, j'ai conduit à Nice, a very common mistake. It sounds like you are saying, I drove in Nice. I was the driver in the car. I drove in Nice. That's what that means. Now, you're going to say to me, or I could say, j'ai conduit jusqu'à Nice, which means I drove all the way to Nice. And yes, you could say that. But again, that really implies the fact that you were the driver. It's about the action of driving and not really the journey. So in French, when you want to say that you drove somewhere or that you did a trip by car, you have to use the expression by car, basically. Je suis allée à Nice en voiture. Okay? J'ai voyagé en voiture. And that works for all the other transports, really. Je suis allée à Nice en train. Je suis allée à Nice en avion. Okay? It works with them too. But yes, with the car one, it's something I hear all the time. When students want to tell me about their trip in France and they say, oh, j'ai conduit à Bordeaux, j'ai conduit à Paris, j'ai conduit partout en Normandie, I understand what they're trying to tell me. But what I'm hearing is you were the driver, you were driving, but it's not the journey. And another thing that's a good tip for you to know is when you want to say that I went for a drive. Let's say you're at home and you're not doing anything and you want to go for a drive. In French, for that, we completely leave out the conduire part again. And we say, je suis allée faire un tour. Je suis allée faire un tour en voiture. Je suis allée faire un tour en voiture. You can say je suis allée faire un tour alone if the car part was already implied in the conversation before, but the person just saw you arrive and park. Otherwise, you can use that just for any sort of like outing that you've just done, maybe by foot or by on a bicycle. You can say je suis allée faire un tour à vélo, je suis allée faire un tour à pied, et je suis allée faire un tour en voiture. Okay? So these were the 3 main mistakes that I've noticed recently in class. And when I notice some more, I will share them with you. So don't hesitate to subscribe so that you don't miss the next video to fix all the mistakes in French. Voilà, voilà. Bisous!